We're here with Raven today, and we're gonna get to know you, Raven. You ready?
Okay, yes.
Okay, so tell us just a little bit about you, who you are, why should we care, things like that.
My name is Raven. Who am I? I mean, I'm from Maryland. I grew up in Southern Maryland. I live in Annapolis. I work in Annapolis too now. I am 23. I love doing hair. Yeah,
And you're Raven.
and I'm Raven.
Raven. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you just a few questions about working here, about just doing hair in general, and about who you are. So first tell me, how did you find out about Good Hair Collective?
My good friend Sam, who also works at Good Hair Collective, we hadn't seen each other in probably like a year or so due to COVID and everything. So we met up and hung out, got to talking. She was telling me that she was working with you, Kristen, and I was just like, oh, that sounds like a great situation. Like, so happy for you. Love it. And then next thing I know, Kristen reaches out to me. And I guess Sam had mentioned me to her. And it was just a perfect full circle moment. And I saw the spot and met everybody. And I was like, this is great. This is perfect. I'm so glad that the timing worked out this way.
And it's funny because like you came at I was thinking about this yesterday, like your interviews and everything. But so Sammy came to me and she's like, I have this friend. I never do this, but I'm gonna recommend this friend. You need to talk to her. And I asked her for your Instagram. And she told me, I was like, oh, I'm already following her. And I remember being like, oh, you should reach out to her. But I saw that you worked in DC. So I assumed you lived in DC and did the whole like, oh, she'll never work for me. Like, why would you come here from DC? And then when Sammy said that, I said, okay, I'll reach out and do the interview or reach out to you. So I sent you a video. You came in when Sammy and I were still in a suite for the hangout, and I was getting my extensions installed. And I just remember just like talking to you, and I don't feel like you knew much about me or my thoughts and feelings on things.
Yeah, none.
Yeah, and I remember specifically you talking about retail, and like you were so annoyed by retail and things
Yes,
like
and
that.
it's holding me back, and come to find out you have a similar view on it.
Yeah, and that's like for me, I was like, oh my gosh, she gets it. Like I don't even have to like tell her why we don't carry retail. Like she gets it. And that's I loved it. It was a very like organic interview because you just didn't. I just love those interviews. Like you just came in and you were just you. Or I guess hang out. That was in the interview. And then I called you. I was like, you want to do an interview? And you came to the salon that we're in now while it was being built.
Yes, I got to see it in rare form.
Yeah, I just was thinking about that. Like, and we had our interview here. And yeah, the rest is history. You've been
I
with
love
us
it.
since.
Yes,
Um,
it's been awesome.
it's been great. Okay, so um tell me, let's talk about you and your personal life. So what do you like to do when you're not at work?
I love being outside. I love to hike, just do anything outdoorsy, the beach, the mountains, whatever. I like to travel as much as I can. I love going to festivals or music events. What else do I like to do? I grew up dancing, so I try to continue that by dancing in the air and doing aerial dance. I just like to have fun. Sometimes it's more just relaxed outside of work. Sometimes I like to do more intense things, be super social. Sometimes I just want to be alone, but just anything fun.
I feel like you're all over the place in the best possible way. Like
Yes,
in traveling, you're always going somewhere.
I try to.
I think it's awesome. Uh, okay, opposite of traveling, what do you like? What's your favorite thing to do here in Maryland?
What do I do in Maryland? That's a good question because I feel like being from here, I'm like, it's just another day. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I will say being near the water is definitely nice. Like even if it's just going on, a beach walk or something like the area of where the state is definitely beautiful. So I try to not take that for granted.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to leave to know what you would miss or what you
Yes.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, okay, you kind of mentioned it already, but I was gonna say ask you about hobbies or interests, the things you're passionate about.
Hobbies. I like to, like I said, aerial dance. So I do lyra classes, the hanging hoop. I've done a little bit of trapeze dance. I pretend like I'm good at art, so I just like to try and paint and like do resin work and make jewelry. But yeah, those are my little quirky hobbies.
I love them. They are a little
It's
quirky,
fun.
but I love it in the best possible way. Like
It's fun.
it is fun and it's so different in a good way. Okay, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Mhm. Anywhere in the world. My initial thought was Australia, just because it seems like another world over there, period. Just the animals, the creatures, the good and the bad, just the whole landscape. It just looks beautiful. I would love to get there one day if I could ever withstand that plane ride.
I feel like if you ever went to Australia, you would never come back.
I think so too.
Yeah, I could see that being like one of the like, yeah, I'm not going back. I'm stuck. I'm staying here.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It does
Have
look
you
amazing.
been? Have you been?
No, my husband's been many times without me, but
So so
I know,
lucky.
I know. I want to go so bad someday. Okay. Tell me your favorite book or author, or do you even like to read?
I do like to read. Oh goodness. Favorite book? I think I have to just say the Harry Potter series. I think it's just a classic answer and I'll always love it.
I love. I did not know that. See,
I
look,
love, yes. I actually tried to reread them all during quarantine and I could only get to four before I just was like, I am done. And now I think I need to start over again because there's so much I don't remember from like four and onward. One through
yeah,
three, expert, totally know what happens, but four, five, six, seven, don't know.
I've
Forgot.
never made it past four.
That's like the breaking point, I
Yeah,
think.
and I'm actually in the middle of trying to read four right now because I'm trying to keep up with my 8-year-old, but he's gonna beat
I'll
me.
join the book club with you guys and we'll all be on the same page. That would
Yeah.
actually be great because I need motivation to reread those last few.
Well, for him, he's so young that we're like, I don't know if we'll go past four because it gets a little
It's a
dark.
little sad, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it is good. Good
it is.
stories.
It is a really good story. Okay, what about do you have a favorite movie or TV show?
I kind of am so bad at watching TV. I take probably a year to finish one season of something. I don't know. I just like definitely don't have a good attention span to just sit and watch TV shows. But a favorite movie is probably I feel like if I just had to pick a movie that I'm like, yeah, I've seen this a million times and I still love it, is Juno.
That is a good movie.
That is such a good movie.
That is a good movie. See, I'm not. Yep, that's a good movie. I like that one. I haven't seen that one forever.
It's so cute. The soundtrack is so cute too. I love it.
It does have good music.
It
Um,
does.
I love the song that Elliot Page and was it Michael Cera sing together.
Yeah.
I have it in my
I
head. Anyways,
I can picture it, but I don't know what it's called. I might have to like find the soundtrack and download the album.
yeah, it's good. Okay, Do you have any pets? Which I know you do. So tell us about your pets.
I do, and I wish that he would come here, but he's hiding. I have an orange tabby cat named Slim Shady, and he's somewhere under the couch right now. It's been his new little hangout, and I actually can't find where his hangout is because when I look under there, I can't see him. But if I shake the food, he comes running out. Kind of
He's
just
so cold up
disappeared.
underneath your couch.
Yeah, he's found something that I don't even want to know what's there.
Yeah, I've known so many cats that have like dug a hole in the bottom of a couch so they can get up in it.
They're so strange, the weirdest creatures, but I
Why
love
did you
him
name him Slim Shady?
because he's orange. So it just was like the Slim Shady bleach out, and he's the name fits. He walks the walk. He's just a little like trickster. I feel like the name suits him well.
It fits.
Yes.
You just have a cat?
Huh?
Do you have a dog too?
No.
Why did I think you had a dog too?
I wish. I love them. I mean, we always had dogs when I my sister when I lived with her had lots of dogs growing up, always had dogs, but I just have my kitty right now. I
Okay,
would
that's
not be a
funny.
good dog mom.
I thought originally I thought you only had a cat. And then I swear at some point I heard you say you had a dog. And I was like, oh, you have a dog too? And I was like, why did she only talk about her cat? And now it makes sense because you just have a cat.
I was
Okay.
probably talking about my nephew Great Dane, who is a riot.
100. Do you know what? This is probably a story in my head that I made up. Maybe.
Okay,
Because it wasn't,
fine.
I would have remembered if it was a Great Dane. I
I
swear.
probably am just talking about other people's dogs all the time, like taking them on, pretending they're my own.
Like, this is my dog. Okay, so you got Slim Shady. Okay, so tell
Yeah.
me, let's get into like the hairstylist world. How did you get started in this industry? And like, why did you become a hairdresser?
I I've always just been very hands-on. I like to create, I like to do artistic things. I like to be around people. I knew that I didn't know what I wanted to do if I had just gone straight to college out of school, and I always had the interest in the beauty industry. So I was like, okay, why don't I do this and do a trade school? Like that's way more my speed and just my area of, interest. And it was funny because at first I didn't want to do hair. I was like, I am going to be a makeup artist. Like I'm gonna live in LA. And then I was like, ew, absolutely not. I love the hair world. I just got way more into it than I ever expected to, and I love it. And there's just always room to learn more and grow. Like I guess anytime you do master something, there's the next thing out, and then you have to learn that. So that's cool. It just keeps you on your toes all the time.
You can never stop learning in this
Yeah.
industry. Like, it always changes.
hmm
What is like the most rewarding part of your job?
I I just well, okay. I love when somebody feels good. They get their hair done and they feel good. They can talk to me while they're getting it done. I feel like sometimes that's more fun than doing the hair. It's just like being the person to vent to
Yeah.
from a stranger. And it's just like, this is cool. Like, you are just opening up to me, and then you leave and you feel beautiful, and you just got out all the bad juju you were holding, and now you are ready to take on the day. Like, I think that's so fun. I love it. I love it when they love it.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. How do you keep like when you have clients come in, because it's completely common in our industry, like there's something about the chair where people will just spill their guts about all things. How do you make sure you don't take that on personally?
Because it's not my
It's not yours.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not mine. I've got my own. but they don't need to know about that.
Well, and I think that's actually kind of a unique quality about you, because I know so many hairdressers that like it's not their life, but they take it like they almost take it on. I'm one of those people. I will like take it on. But I have never seen that with you. So I like that.
Yeah.
That's something to aspire to. Let's see. Okay, what advice would you give somebody who wanted to become a hairdresser? Like, what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
I wish I had a better mentor from the beginning. Like I would advise somebody to like work with somebody they admire and just like learn from them and work with them and just like make sure that you are with somebody that is willing to help you learn, because there's going to be lots of things that come up that you are not going to have an answer to because you're fresh out of school, and if somebody isn't willing to help you, like that's so defeating. You have to have somebody that's not that they need to hold your hand, but just a support system.
Yeah.
Huge thing that I wish I knew.
This industry can be very lonely, like very isolating sometimes. Like it's good to know you're not alone and that you have
Yes.
somebody like cheering you on. Um, what do you look for like in finding your own mentor? Like what would you look for?
Somebody, you mean like the quality of the person or
Yeah.
just in general? Well, for one, I want to admire their skill. Do they do it with love, or are they just doing it because it's their job? Like, do they enjoy what they do? Does that show? Do they put out good work? Are they a person that I get along with, and do they care to teach what they know to me? Like, do they want, am I their assistant and they're just using me to help them, which is fine, and that's one thing, but like, is there that discussion of the knowledge afterwards
Yeah.
that help? Because I've been in a situation where that wasn't the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left feeling like, did I learn from this? Or was I just like there?
I love that. I think it's a kind of it's interesting. I'm trying to think how to word this, because it kind of like, what do you want out of your career? So one, it says a lot about you. Like you're somebody who loves what you do. So you want to be surrounded by people who love what they do and are passionate about it. But it's also like, I feel like there's two kinds of ways people can be assistants. And that's a very popular thing to do when you get out of school. Like
Yeah.
either you come in and you are just assisting me just so I can get my job done faster, or you're
And that's great. That's one thing. And like
yeah,
sometimes that is just what it needs to be. But
yeah,
then there's the other side of it
yeah.
too.
Are you here to learn and grow and stuff? And both have their place. There's two different
Yeah.
kinds of people who create them. And so there's two different kinds of people that want them. But I think it says a lot about what your job means to you. Um, okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Let me ask you two more questions. So, what can what can clients expect when they come sit in your chair?
A good time and good hair. um I don't know. It's an experience. Like it's fun and short. That doesn't mean we have to chat the entire time. Like we can read the room, but I like to get to know my clients. I like to know them personally and feel comfortable with them, and vice versa. Like I'm doing their hair, I would hope that they would feel comfortable with me as a person outside of a stylist. But just for the hair aspects, like I will always do my best. I will give it my all. And I hope at the end of the day, everything is exactly how they would like it to be within reason.
So I was gonna, we were talking a bit about this before, like from what I observe, if I was a client, what I would tell your clients to expect is that you're very honest with them. Like you listen, you're very good at listening and seeing what your clients want, but then you're realistic about setting expectations and what's achievable and what's not. And you can be honest with them. And sometimes that's really hard to find. It's easy to find people who will say, yeah, I can do it. And then don't live up to it. You set realistic expectations. And it's not just, yes, no, I can't do this, but you explain to them why. And you go into the details because it's something you think through. Like I can think about, different cuts or colors you've done of explain like, okay, because you have this kind of coloring or because your hair is this kind of texture, like it's going to do this. Like you really go through and explain it. And I think that is something to be admired.
Thank you.
That's what I would want as a client, is for somebody to be able to be honest with me.
Yeah, and give like the realistic feedback and expectation of what this would look like on client versus model in the picture.
Yeah, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
You're not Brad Pitt, so I can't make you look like Brad Pitt.
No, as much as I can, recreate that cut or something, it's just, it might be the picture that we like. The subject, if I will.
You might just like the picture, not the hair.
Yes.
I really like that. Okay, last one. Tell me one thing you like about working at Good Hair Collective.
I love the environment. I love going back to what I said about like a support system. Like I love the support. I love the positivity, the freedom of just being the artist, of being the artist and not just the stylist. Like having both aspects, being able to create in a way that I want to create. It's just a beautiful environment. The sustainability, everything in that nature, it's just good. Everyone there, the whole motive of the place is just very uplifting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Way to get my own compliment. I think kind of going back to what we originally were talking about, like I don't know what I expected from you when I hired you. Like I trusted Sammy and all that stuff, and I enjoyed being around you. But like you have been a surprise to me about how motivated you are and how determined you are. And I was like, you're like this graceful force to be reckoned with. Like I have no doubt that you will go wherever you want to go in your life. Like, and you'll do it with like in the most beautiful way. But I'm always so impressed with your work ethic and everything you do and how willing you are to try new things and do something different and hard and take the risks, and you create beautiful hair. You do
Thank
really
you.
well. Okay. I'm gonna end the recording here. Thanks, Raven.
Thank you.